everybody. No, this is not the IPL. This is I'm actually recording this on Monday. There's a couple of reasons why I'm recording this. First place, you see that I got the lapel. You can probably hear the difference in the camera. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is actually, for the ITL, I was using a free app for voice recording on the cell phone, and I decided to up it a little bit. And I paid a few dollars and got what should be a better app for voice recording. And I mean, my thinking on it is, if I can get a little bit of control of some of the settings, maybe I can get a little bit more depth into the recording. But I figured, why not go ahead and shoot a video on Monday, even though, should I be on the bike? Oh, I wish I would have been. I don't know if you can hear it too well, because I mean, I do have the, since I'm wearing lapel mic, it's just raining cats and dogs. It really is. And it's windy as heck out there. It's springtime. That's what we get. But normally, does rain used to stop me on the goat? No, not at all. Wind? No, I've actually rode through storms. I mean, hailstorms. I mean, it was to the point where visibility was ridiculously low. And was it dangerous? Yes. And that actually goes towards a little of my topic. This might be a longer video, and I apologize, guys. But anyway, actually, let's go right on into the one of the topics. Well, actually, covers two of the topics. Maikeli7. That's down with my motor vlogging friend down in North Carolina. My birth state. He had actually a little while back. He actually brought up a topic about your high school jobs, and I mean, that kind of hit a spark with me a little bit. I mean, I had several jobs whenever I was going through high school. I mean, it was so many. I don't even remember a lot of them. And these jobs, I mean, whenever I say a job, I mean something that I'm actually physically bringing home a check for, not something that I'm not, or some money for. It's not something that I just did for somebody. But my thinking on it is, I mean, I did so many of them, and it had to be last more than one day. You know, I mean, I had a few situations where I only worked for one day, and that wasn't due to my lack of work or lack of anything on my part. It was just the way the situation was about. The person only needed somebody to work for one day, and I mean, if I could have milked the situation out and gotten more out, but that was never me. I was always, you put your best foot forward, and you did it on a timely manner, to the best of your ability, 110%, even more if you have to put it into it. But yeah, it was like, there's so many jobs that I had. I mean, the longest notable job I had was actually working at a wastewater treatment facility, and that lasted for 3 full summers, and that job was, it was a job. It was a job. And I got the work done, and I got home. The money that I always earned normally always went towards help to support for school clothes for the school, and if I needed anything on the side. I mean, but I always pocketed it back and act like a squirrel with its nuts. So, no dirty pun intended. But I would squirrel back any money that I didn't have to use, and then that would actually go towards my extracurricular activities for school. I mean, I was into wood shop, doing a lot of crafts, things like that in school. And I mean, wood wasn't cheap. Even though you can go say, well, pine's cheap. Well, I didn't work with pine. I worked with a lot of exotic woods with antiques and stuff like that. And that was just what I was into. But yeah, I mean, the jobs that I had, I mean, heck. I installed satellite TV antennas for a company. That was the big 12 to 16 footers that we had, and I'd put them together and install them. Of course, I had somebody always there to keep an overseer because I was young, but I had it. That was my job. I've always had 2, 3, 4 jobs piled on top of each other at one time. I'd have grass cutting jobs. I mean, if I didn't end the season, if I didn't end the summer with at least 3 to 4K in my pocket, there was something wrong. There was something seriously wrong. And my jobs lasted until even after that, because I worked for farmers. I would bale hay. I would tend to farm with them. I mean, I was always doing everything. I was an unloader for a small mom and pop's convenience store. The truck would come in, I would unload it, put everything into the cooler. I mean, it was that was the times where you weren't afraid to do an honest day labor or an honest night's labor, because there was times where, like the cooler job, it would come in the late evening. You would work to the night to get it done. You would get off, and that only happened on Fridays. That way I didn't have to work the next day, but I would only get a few hours worth of sleep that next day. The last job I had in high school, though, was working as a mechanic. I was a fuel aid mechanic. I was at GD Leasing down here in West Middlesex. You guys might know them as Falcon and Compass in the United States. It used to be Falcon and Compass back in the days. But nowadays it's just Falcon. Ugliest trucks in the world. And they were the crappiest people ever to work for, in my opinion. But I mean, I was a fuel line mechanic, and I did several jobs within that. Not just a fuel line mechanic. Fuel line mechanic was being used very loosely. I mean, I was shifted back and forth on the night shifts. I was on call. Night shifts. It was only you in the parts room, guy running. You did everything in there. If it was required to be done, you did it. So that was the job. You busted your butt. But I did that job until clean after I even graduated high school. I mean, that was supposed to, my thought on it was my future career. But yeah, that was his question a few weeks ago. And this one here today, I just got up and I just noticed, several hours ago, and he had another video. He puts a lot of video up. Good motor vlogger. It's Maikeli7. He mentioned about fears of motorcycle riding, and I mentioned to him, back in 1989, and I was 89, I'd be 19, and I had a severe car accident. I mean, it was really severe. I darn near killed myself, and I survived through that. Not unscathed, but I survived through that. And my thinking on it is, do not fear the Reaper. The Reaper will come and get you whenever it's time. That's just the facts. So don't fear, but don't be dumb about it either. Don't be stupid about it. You have to weigh your options. Choose what you're going to enjoy, or you try something, see if you're going to enjoy it. Weigh your options, do it safely, to the best of your abilities. And my father even mentioned it when I was younger. He mentioned it that you jump where angels fear to fly. And you figure angels are basically up and out of danger where I jump. That's how he would put it. And it was like, but I still knew there was dangers. It's just I just do it. I mean, I have laid the goat down. I've laid the KZ before I got the goat. I laid it down. It's just you scrape, you get up, you brush yourself off, and there were slow lay downs. There were slow speed lay downs where I could do that, but they still sting. They still sting, and you keep on going. I mean, if it's something that you are wanting to do, you keep going. You don't let it stop you. And that's just my view on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and I want to wrap on that one up. Just a little shout out for Maikeli7. I mean, he's one of the guys. one of the good guys too. But I could do a spin-off on that. Back I just mentioned to it, and I don't keep it. I don't like talking all the time about the accident back in 1989, or what I have gotten from that. I mean, I didn't leave the accident unscathed, but it was. But that is coming back to haunt me. I mean, back in the accident, I drove my left leg through my pelvis. They ended up reconstructing the pelvis with titanium. Then about 3 years later, I ended up having a total hip replacement, which caused the ball of the femur, it was dying. So they did away with that and put a full hip replacement in. And that was 93. And, well, you figure, I was told whenever I had the hip replacement put in, these hips last maximum of 15 years. Well, you do your math. Math. It's 2016 now. I'm on borrowed time, and I knew it. I've been saying it every couple times a year that it's coming. Well, it's getting worse, and the ability to get up on the go during cooler, damper weather is getting harder and harder for me. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and seek out a doctor, an orthopedic doctor, and I should have had one throughout the years, keeping an eye on this hip, but I'm like, I hate seeing doctors all the time. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and see an orthopedic and see what I can do to make this better, and if is the end of the hip coming, lifespan of the hip coming? It very well could be. I'm not saying that it is, but the best way to really know, and I was told this by several doctors in the past, that when the hip comes out of socket, that's whenever you know it's time for a new hip. And then it could happen while you're up and walking. I mean, you go poof right down to the ground, and it could hurt. What a horrible way of doing it. But I mean, that's what I was told by the doctors. I've never experienced the end of a hip. This will be my first time. But I was also told back whenever I had this hip put in that you can only have 2 per lifetime, and I can't have the modern day hips put in because they actually require the femur to be there so they can put the caps and stuff on. I no longer have the femur; it's removed. They actually cut the femur off, hollowed out the leg portion of the bone, and then put the replacement in. There might be other ways to get around that, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to argue with the doctors. They know a lot better than I do about that type of thing. But I figure I'd give you a small update on what is going on. I mean, it's not going to keep me off the goat. I might even be on the goat tomorrow. I was hoping to be on it today, but the weatherman was wrong. They're calling for nice, decently warm, sunny days, and we are just coming down cats and dogs. And I mean, I've got so much work to do outside. It's unreal due to these storms. But it's just going to have to wait. This is MuzzleMike. Hoping you kind of like this update, and a shout out from Maikeli7. I'll go ahead and drop him. I'll drop you a link to his channel if you never heard of him before. I can't imagine you never heard of Maikeli7. If you never heard of him before, the link will be down in the description. This is MuzzleMike. So I hope you have a great day. Signing out.